Salutations, everybody. It is Matty here, and why is this chair so squeaky? Yeah, I always get afraid that like people are gonna think I'm like ripping ass mid video, and I swear to you, I'm not. It's the chair just going. Of course, it's not gonna make the noise now. Anyway, what's happening, people? Today we're talking about Cyberpunk 2077. We got an announcement that this coming Monday is going to be a brand new Night City Wire. We've also got some brand new information through interviews, images, predictions on what's to come from Night City Wire. So let's go ahead, take a nice dive in, starting off with that Night City Wire. When's it happening, what time, and what can we expect? CD Projekt Red has all the details. Join us on Monday, August 10th at 6 p.m. CEST at twitch.tv/CD Projekt Red for episode 2 of Night City Wire. This time, we'll share details about life paths, show you the types of weapons you will be using in the game, and discuss Refused transformation into samurai. Alright, first off, the actual timing of the event. A lot of us thought this would be a monthly thing for CD Projekt Red since the first one was in June. The games are releasing in November, so people thought, hey, that's time for about 5 Night City Wires, but it looks like maybe this could be in every other month, or maybe they're gonna, as they get closer to launch, do them more frequently. But anyway, I don't know if there's going to be a pattern here. Let's get into the actual tweet, though, and what we can expect to see during this Night City Wire. First off, they said refused transfer. First off, they said refused. How do you say that? Refused. Refused. How do you do that? I'm done. Their transformation into samurai. Pretty much, they're going to be an in-game band bringing this soundtrack of Cyberpunk to life. This actually comes directly from CD Projekt Red's own website, where they announced that the studio has teamed up with Refused to bring Cyberpunk's iconic chrome rock music band Samurai to life. So when I stream this event, I can already see it now in the Twitch chat. People are going to lose their minds of some kind of boredom because they're going to be showing off a band interviews. They're going to show off music. People are going to go, where's the game? Hopefully they just start off the show with this and end it with the game, but I don't know. That's wishful thinking, maybe. Now, they also said they wanted to show us stuff about life paths. For those who are just hopping in or maybe need a refresher, life paths are pretty much your origin story of the game. There's 3 right now. It's the Corpo, the Street Kid, as well as the Nomad. And you choose one of these and your starting area is different, your starting quest is different, and it does all eventually lead to the same point, but it gives a little more personality to your prologue. And if you need a comparison to a game that already exists, take a look at Dragon Age Origins, where there are multiple origin stories that play a big factor into who your character is, and it's referenced multiple times throughout the story. Same thing here in Cyberpunk. So we're going to get a closer look at that. And if you did pay attention to some of the actual coverage that came out for Cyberpunk with Night City Wire, and a lot of YouTubers, streamers, press outlets got their hands on the game, they talked a bit about their life path experience, but that's all we got was words on paper. We never received any type of gameplay showing that off. We never saw any visual representation. We saw a little something from Kotaku Australia, but that was about it. And that was just a series of quests and more gameplay outside of what was shown at Night City Wire. So what I'm thinking is that CD Projekt Red's going to do what they've been doing the entire time. They have press preview something. The press talks about it, the consumer gets curious, and then CD Projekt Red themselves shows the public that exact thing just a couple of months later. They did the same thing when it came to the original gameplay debut of 48 minutes of Cyberpunk 2077 gameplay. I was there, it was like June, they showed off the gameplay to the press, people were just talking about it, it was word of mouth marketing, and then they showed it to the public in August, and for a lot of people, it lived up to the hype. And it's a pattern, if you haven't noticed. That's their way of approaching marketing. It's kind of funny when you think about it. They also mentioned they want to show us the type of weapons we'll be using in game. So this one sounds up my alley, right? Looks like we're actually going to see gameplay between the choices you can make with your character. We're going to see more of that character creator and the different story paths, and we're actually going to see weapons. We're going to see actual gameplay. I find this one really, really exciting. Now, there was a book that came out called The World of Cyberpunk, and while a lot of this was built off just the lore of Cyberpunk in general and doesn't necessarily confirm things in games, it can actually give us a little bit of a hint, at least this page here, which I got from my buddy Dantix. In this book, it actually states in the first paragraph that you can legally purchase pretty much any weapon you could wish for. If you want to buy a cheap gun, you can go to a vending machine. That's how easy they are to come across. But when it comes to heavy weapons, which we haven't really seen much of in Cyberpunk, it's a different story. The possession and sale of so-called weapons of war are strictly prohibited inside Night City, but major corporations enjoy an exception to this law, and corpo elites can use them if, quote, public safety is endangered. And they do mention that corpo soldier boys can legally use a minigun if corporate property or personnel is in any perceived danger. So that's our first little tease there of a minigun of some kind in Cyberpunk. But yeah, heavy weapons, we're probably going to see how they're distributed. Maybe we'll see some shop menus. We already saw to some extent in the initial gameplay preview that you could get weapons from vending machines. That's how easily attainable they are and how messed up this city really is, which, you know, just come on, man. Come on, get it together, Night City. We also saw a very brief snippet of Katana gameplay, so I think CD Projekt Red will make a more global showcase of that, and just showing the diversity of the weapons. That's what I really want to see. Depending on my build, what weapons are good for respective players? What stealth options are there? Will there be customization for the weapons? These are questions circling around in my head that I hope are indeed answered on Monday. Now we also have a little bit more to go over when it comes to just general photos, images, all that good stuff. So let's start off with the Badlands. This comes from the Cyberpunk Twitter account. Sparsely populated by nomads, the Badlands are the vast plains outside of the city proper. Unchecked resource extraction, burning oil fields, rampant pollution. This district makes Night City feel like a rich oasis, but it holds golden opportunities for those in the know. Now we can see a picture here, and it's kind of what you'd expect for the Badlands. We've seen a couple of screenshots already before, but what I really want to focus on is this one here, which I feel, even though it's concept art, creates some great perspective of the city at large. You can see Night City and then where the Badlands are located. More importantly to know is if you pick the nomad life path, you will actually start outside of Night City. I just find the variety of the life paths where you start the game, I find all of that extremely exciting. Now, this next bit of information is going to come from my buddy Epoxy. His channel's been popping off lately. I'll have that linked in the description along with Dantix. These are two great Cyberpunk YouTubers that you should definitely give some of your time and attention to. What Epoxy did was actually summarized a Miles Toast interview. There's some interesting tidbits in there. I just picked out some of the highlights that I thought were more pertinent to this discussion we're having here today. There are some extra nuggets in there, but nothing, in my opinion, of real significance. And I think the info that we're looking at here can play a part into Night City Wire and once again create those expectations in a reasonable manner. Exploration is much more valuable in Cyberpunk 2077. You never know what's around the next corner, leaving several surprises for the player to find in the world. Every area creates a question in your mind, begging you to explore further. So I feel like if they're showing gunplay and they're running around a level, we might get a look at that exploration too. One thing that Miles really wants to get across to the fans is when it comes to quests. They have gone out of their way to add old-fashioned role-playing elements to where life path and skills really come into play. They really want you to be into the path you've chosen and roleplay your character throughout the game. Okay, thank God. I don't even think I got words, man. Like, yes, old-fashioned role-playing elements are not bad. Like, more games need them because the RPG genre has become so diluted because everyone's just throwing in skill trees and calling it an RPG. More of this, please. After the prologue, which is your origin story and whatnot, the entire map becomes available for you to explore. Although, depending on the area, you will run into higher level enemies, so there are going to be certain sections of the city that you can explore but probably not kill people in. All in all, man, lots of exciting information to go over, and we're going to get plenty more when it comes to Cyberpunk this coming Monday. Of course, I'll be streaming the event. I will be live reacting with all of you. It should be an extremely good time. After that, yes, there will be tons of Cyberpunk 2077 coverage to look forward to. So do keep your eye out for that. I feel like once we had the first Night City Wire, you guys saw I like popped off with Cyberpunk coverage. I'm looking forward to doing it again because we let the channel cool down with it for a while, focused on some other games, and now here we are back again talking about Cyberpunk. So I'm really looking forward to it. Keep your eyes peeled right here, as well as some of the channels that I recommended. They're great channels covering a lot of information coming for this game. So it's worth keeping your eye on. These are great sources that I trust, and you should too. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I pass it on to you. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments down below. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. Big thank you to all the patrons who continue to really push the limits of the channel. You guys help so much with the studio space and whatnot. Thank you all so much for changing my life. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.